What happens when the deepest maternal love a child receives isn't from his own mother, but from the woman paid to care for him? And what if that love is born from a grief so profound it reshaped a soul? This is a story about invisible bonds, whispered secrets in gilded cages, and a truth that, once spoken, could shatter a carefully constructed world, or perhaps rebuild a broken one. It asks, can a hired hand truly become a mother's heart? Dawn broke over Seabrook Cove, painting the ocean-front manors in hues of rose and gold. Inside the Vance residence, despite its grandeur, a chill often lingered. In a sun-dappled nursery, Anna moved with quiet grace. Leo, 5, slept soundly. Watching him, a familiar ache and fierce tenderness filled Anna. His features, the way he clutched his toy, echoes of Sam, her lost son. A laugh like wind chimes, eyes holding the summer sky. The memory, a bittersweet caress against her grief from a hit-and-run years ago the driver never found. Downstairs, the Vance family breakfast was an exercise in precision. Sunlight glinted off silver. Eleanor Vance, a woman of relentless ambition, presided, her focus on her tablet. Anna, she'd direct without looking up. Leo has his sailing club assessment, the new kit, and no dairy, you understand. We can't have any unpleasantness. It was a directive, not a request. Mr. Vance, a shadow in his own home, would murmur assent from behind his newspaper. Later, as Anna cleared away, Eleanor approached, a practiced smile on her lips, holding a designer handbag, expensive, yet bearing faint scuffs of prior ownership. "Anna, darling," Eleanor cooed. "I was clearing out my closet and thought of you. A little token." Anna received it with quiet grace. "Thank you, Mrs. Vance. That's very thoughtful." Was it clueless generosity or a subtle reminder of her station? Anna wouldn't dwell. Some kindnesses in such houses felt heavier than others. The bag, an emblem of a world removed from her own, was placed carefully aside. The afternoon sun cast long shadows in the vast living room. Here, amidst curated art, Anna and Leo shared simple joy, absorbed in a jigsaw puzzle. "Mama Anna," Leo chirped naturally, "where does this blue piece go?" The word mama hung in the air, a fragile, beautiful thing, warming Anna's chest with a bittersweet echo of Sam. Before she could respond, Eleanor Vance stood in the doorway, her posture rigid, her face a mask of displeasure. "Leo," her voice was clipped, "Anna is Anna, not your mama. You have a mother." Leo flinched, his bright expression crumpling. He looked from his mother's stern face to Anna's neutral one, lip trembling. "But I like Mama Anna," he whispered. "That's enough, Leo," Mrs. Vance stated. "Go to your room." Defeated, Leo trudged away, casting a pleading look at Anna. Once he was gone, Eleanor turned her steely gaze on Anna. "I will not have this confusion, Anna. Is that clear? He needs to understand your position here." Anna met her employer's gaze briefly, then lowered her own, a silent nod her only reply. The unspoken accusations hung heavy. The first crack had appeared. The day's encounter left a tension that clung to Anna as she retreated to her small room, a stark space far removed from the main house's opulence. Here, only a narrow bed, a simple dresser, and a worn rug. It held her silences and her sacred grief. With trembling hands, Anna opened a drawer. Nestled within was a small, silver-plated picture frame, its edges softened by countless touches. Inside, the faded photograph of a little boy, no older than Leo, his smile wide, one sock sagging. Sam, her Sam. His eyes still sparkled with a light that pierced her sorrow. She sank onto her bed, cradling the photo. "Oh, Sam," she whispered, voice raspy. "Leo. He has your laugh sometimes, loves cars like you did." Her thumb traced his happy face. The memory surged, a sun-drenched park, Sam chasing a red ball, his laughter pure music. Then, the screech of tires, a dark sedan, the sickening thud. The world dissolving. The car never slowed, leaving a shattered heart. Justice, like the driver, remained elusive. "I couldn't save you, my love," she choked, guilt and desolation overwhelming her. "Mommy failed you." Tears streamed. A testament to a love time couldn't diminish. The weight of Mrs. Vance's reprimand faded against this colossal grief. But through the sorrow came resolve. "I won't let Leo feel that aloneness, Sammy," she vowed. "I'll give him all the love I couldn't keep giving you. I promise." She placed the photo back, a silent sentinel. The promise, a fragile bloom, was made not just to Sam, but to herself, a reason to keep loving. Weeks later, the Vance family's public life unfolded at the Seabrook Cove Yacht Club for Eleanor Vance's annual charity gala. The event showcased her philanthropy and perfect family. Amidst white tents and champagne, Eleanor, a vision in silk, navigated the elite with practiced charm, Mr. Vance, a supportive echo. Anna, in her understated uniform, watched Leo, a small figure in a smart blazer. Anna knew his dairy sensitivity. His emergency medication was always with her, a silent guardian. As the afternoon sun cast long shadows, Eleanor, between conversations, spotted Leo near a dessert table. With a theatrical flourish for public consumption, she leaned towards him. "Darling, a tiny treat," she offered, selecting a delicate cream-filled confection, seemingly oblivious to its danger. Leo accepted with a joyful grin. Anna watched, apprehension tightening her chest, unable to intervene without disrupting the scene. Soon, Leo coughed, a dry hack escalating. A flush spread up his neck. He tugged his collar, eyes wide. "Mama Anna," he rasped. "My throat." "Funny." Anna was instantly by him, kneeling, administering his inhaler. Just then, Eleanor swept over, her expression one of pitched maternal alarm. "Oh my goodness! Leo, what is it?" she exclaimed, her voice carrying. Her gaze landed sharply on Anna. "Anna, I was clear about his dairy restriction. How could this happen?" The unspoken accusation of negligence was palpable. Before Anna could reply, Mr. Vance, who saw his wife give Leo the pastry, murmured discreetly, "Eleanor, my dear, you gave him that treat." Eleanor's response was an icy glare. "Richard, not now," she whispered, then turned to onlookers. "Thank heavens for a mother's watchfulness," subtly taking credit. Anna, expressionless, comforted Leo, her calm a silent counterpoint. The performance, at all costs, had to be maintained. The late afternoon sun painted the sky, signaling Eleanor Vance's keynote address. A hush fell as she ascended the dais, an image of poised philanthropy. Leo, recovered thanks to Anna's care, quietly held Anna's hand at the crowd's periphery, eyes on his mother. "My dear friends," Eleanor began, her voice resonating warmth. "It is with immense pride." Her voice was suddenly shockingly upstaged. A small figure broke free from Anna's hold, dashing towards the dais. It was Leo. Before a horrified Anna could react, he reached the podium, his face just visible. He grabbed the microphone, a brief squeal of feedback cutting through Eleanor's oratory. Then, into the amplified silence, Leo's voice, clear and startlingly loud, rang out. "Mommy!" he called. Then his arm shot out, pointing towards Anna, frozen in disbelief. "Mommy, I want to be with Mama Anna." A collective gasp rippled through the audience. Smiles faltered. Eleanor's composure fractured, her smile a brittle rictus. But Leo wasn't finished. "Mama Anna loves me more. She plays with me. You're always working. I want my real mommy, Mama Anna." The silence that followed was absolute, heavy with judgment. Every eye fixed on the boy, his mortified mother, then swiveled with accusing intensity towards the distressed Anna, who wished the earth would swallow her. Mr. Vance, face a mask of embarrassment, quickly strode onto the dais, gently detaching Leo, leading him away amidst incredulous whispers and the clicking of cell phone cameras. Eleanor Vance remained rooted, a silent statue of public humiliation, the narrative of her perfect life shattered. The drive back to the Vance mansion was thick with a silence more damning than any recrimination. Once behind the closed doors of her private study, Eleanor Vance's composure shattered. She paced like a caged tigress, her face a mask of cold fury, humiliation now rage. Mr. Vance leaned against the desk, a weary witness. "That woman," Eleanor spat, voice venomous. "She orchestrated this, turning my son against me. It was deliberate sabotage, Mr. Vance murmured. "Eleanor, Leo is just a child. Anna has been good to him. He's confused." But Eleanor was beyond reason. Confused. "He publicly humiliated me. Called her his mother. She's made us a laughingstock. She leaves. Tomorrow." Anna was summoned. She entered heart heavy, but demeanor calm. She had anticipated this. Eleanor, avoiding eye contact, delivered the verdict with brutal precision. "Anna, your services are no longer required. Depart by morning. A severance and a standard reference will be provided." Anna nodded quietly. "I understand, Mrs. Vance." But from the hallway, a choked sob, then frantic footsteps. The door burst open. Leo, face streaked with tears, eyes wide with terror, flung himself into the room. He had heard. "No," he shrieked. "No, you can't. Mama Anna, don't go." He clung to Anna's legs, body racked with sobs. Eleanor, stunned, moved to intervene. "Leo, stop this instant. You are making a scene." But Leo turned on his mother, face contorted with grief and anger too large for his years. "You're mean, Mommy," he screamed at Eleanor. "A mean mommy. I hate you. I want Mama Anna." The accusation struck Eleanor with physical force. Her fury faltered, replaced by a flicker of shock, perhaps pain. Anna, despite her own aching heart, knelt, gathering Leo into her arms. "Shh, my sweet boy," she murmured, stroking his hair. "It's going to be all right." But she knew, with chilling certainty, that for this boy, and for herself, nothing would ever be truly all right again in this house. A week passed, each day a somber echo measured in packing the remnants of her life from the Vance mansion. Leo's heartbroken cries still resonated in Anna's soul. She found a modest room on Seabrook Cove's outskirts. One grey afternoon, seeking respite, Anna wandered into the town's public library. A flyer announced a health workshop. Nurturing young minds. Drawn by a familiar world, she slipped into a back seat. The speaker was Dr. Chloe Davis, a respected local pediatrician, known for her compassion. Anna found solace in her words. As Dr. Davis concluded, her gaze swept the room, pausing on Anna. Disbelief, then dawning recognition, transformed her professional demeanor. After the last question, Dr. Davis raised a hand. "Excuse me," her voice trembled slightly. "I believe I see someone truly extraordinary." Curiosity spread as Dr. Davis stepped down, eyes locked on Anna. She moved purposefully towards Anna, who felt a flush of bewildered apprehension. Anna, Doctor. Davis's voice was soft. Is that truly you? Anna looked up, stunned. Chloe? She breathed. Chloe Davis. Before she could finish, Dr. Davis enveloped her in a heartfelt, tearful embrace. I can't believe it's you, Chloe whispered. She turned, still clutching Anna's hand, to the intrigued audience, some already reaching for phones. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Davis began, voice thick with emotion. This woman, Anna, let me tell you about her. She paused. Years ago, a desperately poor medical student on the brink of abandoning my dreams, Anna found me. She, navigating her own devastating loss, opened her small home and even bigger heart. She shared meager food, worked extra shifts for my textbooks, and restored my shattered dignity. She believed in me when no one else did. The kindness of this humble woman. Dr. Davis's gaze on Anna was filled with profound gratitude. That kindness is the bedrock upon which my career, my life, was built. I am a doctor because of her. Everything I am started with her belief in a lost, frightened girl. Anna, overwhelmed, tears streaming, stood as the truth of her quiet goodness was finally, unexpectedly, brought into the light. The effect of Dr. Chloe Davis's impromptu, heartfelt tribute was immediate and electrifying. Cell phone footage of her emotional speech and Anna's tearful, humble reaction began circulating through Seabrook Cove's tight-knit social circles within hours. What started as hushed whispers in the library soon amplified into a cascade of shares, comments, and posts across local social media platforms. The nanny who inspired a doctor, one headline tentatively read on a community blog. Another, more pointedly, on a town forum. Seabrook Cove's hidden heroes, do we value true worth? The narrative shifted subtly but decisively. Suddenly, Anna wasn't just a dismissed caregiver. She was a symbol of quiet strength, unsung generosity, a testament to the profound impact one unassuming individual could have. The digital ripple soon lapped at the Vance's fortified shores. Eleanor, who prided herself on meticulously managing public perception, found herself uncomfortably at the center of a narrative she couldn't control. Friends who had once nodded sympathetically at her nanny troubles now offered carefully neutral remarks, their eyes holding a new, searching curiosity. Mr. Vance, ever attuned to the subtle barometers of social and business standing, began to feel the pressure. Whispers in the golf club, a few pointedly unanswered calls from influential acquaintances, the signs were unmistakable. Their carefully polished image was tarnishing. A few days later, a luxury sedan, conspicuously out of place, pulled up outside Anna's modest boarding house. Mr. Vance emerged, looking somewhat ill at ease in the unfamiliar, unglamorous surroundings. He found Anna in her small, tidy room, a few packed boxes, a testament to her impending uncertain departure. He cleared his throat, the sound unnaturally loud in the quiet space. Anna, he began, his usual confident demeanor softened by a visible discomfort. Eleanor and we've had some time to reflect. Perhaps we acted a little hastily. Leo misses you terribly, of course. And this recent attention, well, it's put things in a different perspective. He shifted his weight. We were wondering if you might reconsider. Your position is still available. We'd be very glad to have you back. Anna listened patiently, her gaze steady, her hands resting calmly in her lap. There was no triumph in her eyes, no hint of vindication, only a profound, quiet weariness and an unshakable sense of self-worth that had been forged in crucibles of far greater pain than the Vances could ever inflict. When he finished, a small, sad smile touched her lips. Thank you for the offer, Mr. Vance. she said, her voice soft but firm, imbued with a newfound, quiet authority. But I cannot return to a place where my presence was valued only when it was convenient, and my voice only when it was silent. My silence, it seems, is no longer for sale. Mr. Vance, faced with this gentle but absolute refusal, had no response. For the first time, perhaps, he saw not just the nanny, but Anna, a woman of quiet, unyielding integrity. He nodded mutely, turned, and left, the offer of reinstatement dissolving into the quiet dignity of her refusal. Anna's departure from the Vance estate was as quiet and unceremonious as her arrival had been years before. There were no grand farewells, only the soft click of a closing gate, a final, lingering look at the imposing facade that had housed so much of her quiet service, and a heart strangely lighter, unburdened. She carried with her, not bitterness, but a renewed sense of purpose, a fragile seed of an idea that had taken root in the fertile ground of her rediscovered self-worth. Months later, on a sun-dappled street in a more modest, vibrant part of Seabrook Cove, a new sign appeared above the freshly painted door of a charming, renovated cottage. Sam's Harbour, a community nook. It wasn't grand or imposing, but it radiated a warmth that was instantly inviting. Inside, the air buzzed with the happy, uninhibited sounds of children's laughter, the gentle murmur of stories being read, and the soft scuff of small shoes on brightly colored rugs. Walls were adorned not with expensive art, but with children's exuberant, crayon-bright drawings. Cozy reading corners nestled under hand-painted trees, and shelves overflowed with well-loved books and engaging toys. Here Anna was no longer the nanny in a somber uniform. She was simply Anna, her face animated, her smile frequent and genuine, her presence a steady, comforting beacon. She wore an apron often dusted with glitter from art projects or flour from impromptu baking sessions, her attire now reflecting the vibrant, nurturing life she was building. Dr. Chloe Davis was a regular visitor, sometimes leading health workshops for parents, other times simply sitting on the floor, joyfully immersed in a game with the children, her earlier tribute having inspired a wave of quiet community support for Anna's endeavor. Prominently displayed on the wall above Anna's small, cluttered desk was a simply framed crayon drawing. 2 stick figures, one tall, one small, holding hands beneath a beaming yellow sun. The shaky, childish lettering beneath read, "Leo and Mama Anna." It was a daily reminder not of a past she had left behind, but of the enduring power of love. A love that had, in its own way, led her here. One crisp autumn afternoon, the bell above the door of Sam's Harbour chimed. Leo stood there, his eyes bright with excitement, a slightly taller, more confident version of the boy Anna remembered. Beside him stood Mr. Vance, his demeanor noticeably softer, more respectful than before. And lingering near the doorway, a hesitant, almost shy figure, was Eleanor Vance. She didn't step fully inside, but her gaze, as it rested on Anna, and then on the joyful chaos of the room, held a new, uncharacteristic pensiveness, perhaps a dawning understanding of a world she had never truly seen. Leo rushed forward, a homemade card clutched in his hand. "Mama Anna, we brought you cookies. Mommy helped make them," he announced proudly, oblivious to the subtle currents of adult emotion. Anna knelt to embrace him, her heart full. The visit was a small, tentative bridge across a once vast divide, a quiet acknowledgement of bonds that transcended old pains. As she watched Leo later, happily engaged with other children, Anna felt a profound sense of peace settle over her. Sam's Harbour wasn't just a place. It was a testament to resilience, a sanctuary built from love and loss, now offering hope and healing to others. It was here, amidst the joyful noise and the quiet acts of kindness, that Anna truly found her own safe harbor. And so, her story, like so many unsung lives, reminds us that the true measure of a person isn't found in the grandeur of their possessions or the loftiness of their station, but in the quiet depth of their compassion, the unseen ripples of their kindness. It teaches us that authentic value often resides not in what we accumulate for ourselves, but in what we selflessly give to others, in the hearts we touch and the lives we uplift. True fulfillment, it seems, isn't about achieving a flawless image, but about embracing our shared humanity, finding purpose in service, and understanding that love, in its purest form, is the most powerful legacy we can leave behind. It's about building your own harbor, a place where your own light and the light of others can truly shine.